So, welcome in. For today's video, we are going to be cracking open this VGA 85 Metroid Prime for Nintendo GameCube. A very nice, very cool game. VGA 85, pretty good grade, which you're probably wondering then, why am I going to be cracking this open today? So this game actually came back in my most recent VGA submission, and you can watch the entire unboxing of that submission on my YouTube channel here, where I went through every game, I gave my pre-grade predictions, and how I actually matched up to what VGA gave the grade as. And for the most part, in that video, the grades that I was predicting, I was actually being way too harsh on a lot of the games. Metroid Prime was one of my biggest misses in the entire submission. It came back VGA 85, but my pre-grade on this game was actually a VGA 90. Now, if you guys have any experience with VGA, submitting with VGA, you know that a VGA 90 is, that's getting very close to a case-fresh game if you want to get a VGA 90. Think your WATA 9.6 A++ type grade. So when I got this back and I saw the 85 on it, obviously I was a bit disappointed, and that's when I started looking at it. The first thing I saw on it was this right here, which that is not on the acrylic. That is on the game case or on the cellophane there. I do all of my own cleaning on my games prior to submission. I promise I would not have missed that. As well as on the back here, there's another spot right here where, again, that is not on the acrylic. So this video will serve two purposes. We all get to see what a VGA 85 looks like now on a DVD case game. Some of you guys might not have as much experience with VGAs. And then I'm also going to resubmit this game to WATA so we can see what a VGA 85 DVD game will cross towards. And once I smash this out of the casing here, we can also see if there's any additional damage that I just didn't think the game had, because in order for it to get an 85, I assume this little mark here isn't going to be the only thing wrong with it. We'll see what happens. As always, big thanks to every single Patreon member who helps support the channel, as well as YouTube members. I can't do it without you guys, so thank you very much. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Let me just grab my tool here, which I think I left. Yep, there it is. Just left it underneath the hammer. So on VGA cases, if you don't know, on the back here, it's not connected. You can push into this. I'm gonna hit it here. There you go. You can see it now. This is where the natural separation is on a VGA case. So now I'm actually just gonna take the knife and pry it like this. And you can see the acrylic there just nicely snapped off, and we have a little opening. I do wish it would have been a little bit cleaner. I kind of need to repeat the process now. Just gotta slide it now. I don't open up VGA cases often. I don't regrade games often. I've only actually ever felt the need to regrade VGA games like once or twice. One more little piece right here, and then I should just be able to slide it right out of the bottom. So now, with it as open as it is, I'm going to carefully slide the game out of the bottom of the casing. Just like that. And there we go. We have successfully removed the Metroid Prime from the VGA casing. And now we are back to having a plain old raw Metroid Prime copy. Now I can show you guys again. Here is the spot on the case. I'm gonna try and wipe it off now. I have my goof off as well as alcohol here. It looks like the one on the back did wipe off. It was just between the case and the game, so that's really positive. So first, let's try wiping this off, and then we're just going to examine the game, and we'll see what a VGA 85 looks like. So I am just going to go straight to goof off here. If you ever work with something like goof off, make sure to be very careful while doing it. I don't even know what that would have been, but you can see it's completely gone now. I promise, I would not have missed something as blatant as that. So now we can just go ahead and actually look at the game, and yeah, like I said, I pre-graded this a 90, but it's obvious as to why this scored what it did and not a 90. I'll try to show you as much as I can here with the lighting, but you can see up in the corner, it's scarred pretty bad right there. As well, if we just come down the game here, you can see more scratching there right on Samus's abdomen. The whole side here is pretty scratched up, honestly. Right there again, you can kind of see the scratch here if the light will catch it. There's a big one right there. There's no actual big divots in the game case or anything like that. All of the damage that this game has now is superficial. But like I said, I projected a 90 for this thing. The cellophane as well as the game was frickin' clean, and now I'm stuck with this game where I'm like, yeah, no, this is definitely an 85 given, you know, given what kind of scratches it has. On the back, there's nothing too blatant, but right here again, there is a little indent scratch on there. On DVD case stuff, this is what you're looking for that hurts the grade, right? Looking at all of the edges of the game, there are no rips and tears. That's what you'd expect with an 85. You usually can't slip rips or tears through if you're looking for that level on DVD games, but just the amount of superficial scratches on the face of the game, I'm positive they weren't there on initial submission of this game. I know that that piece of residue we wiped off definitely wasn't there, so did it get damaged at some point, either during shipping or while VGA had it in their possession? I personally think it did. This is at best an 85 plus, and you know, I agree with their grade of an 85, so either I was blind upon first submission or it got a bit damaged during the grading process. If you submit games for grading, if you do this, it's the same with cards. There is always a risk that stuff will get damaged during transit, during encapsulation, during the grading process. It's part of the gamble, it's part of the risk. Keep that in mind when you are submitting. Keep that in mind when you're paying a premium for an already graded game. The person who submitted it already dealt with all that risk. They already dealt with the time delay. They are the ones who went through all that, so you don't have to. For this game, I am going to submit it over to WATA now, and we'll see what they think of it. You guys saw the damage on this. We have superficial scratches and scuffs to the case. There's really no divots, nothing like that. It still is a very clean copy of the game. I'm hoping that we can get something like a 9.6 A+ on it, which I don't think is that out of line for a VGA 85 DVD crossover, but we'll see. It'll probably take about 150 business days to come back to us, so I mean, we're talking like 6 months or so, maybe 7 months. A disappointing experience with VGA, no doubt, but I still will use their services. You just have to accept that stuff like this can happen. Hopefully you learned a little bit about what a VGA 85 looks like, and hopefully it was interesting seeing a VGA case get cracked open. Hit the like button before you go, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!